Hi, I'm State Representative Norma Smith. I represent the 10th Legislative District. Thank you for joining me for this legislative update. You know, I really appreciate the fact that you've trusted me to represent you and your family in Olympia. I'm honored to work with you on the issues that are important to our communities. These past few weeks have been incredibly busy. The House and the Senate proposed transportation budget, state operating budget, and capital budgets have been released. You know, I have consistently been a supporter of our capital budget process because in the past, it has ensured that we take care of and update critical infrastructure around the state, like schools and sewer and water systems and higher education facilities. While there are some great projects in the House budget that was released yesterday, I have some serious concern that budget writers are diverting the balances of a significant number of capital budget accounts, totaling more than $780 million, to the state operating budget. Let me just explain that. The Public Works Trust Fund, or the Public Works Assistance Account, as many of our communities know, provides a loan program so that small cities, communities can get a loan from the state and do work that is critical to the infrastructure. That account, $368 million, was diverted into the operating account. The school construction account, many of you know about the lottery dollars that are supposed to be used for school construction. More than $182 million has been transferred into the operating budget. The local taxes account, $69 million. The water quality account, $26 million. And the community and technical college construction account, more than $18 million. The budget scheme put forward today takes from a number of committed, dedicated accounts in the capital budget and transfers that to the operating budget. It takes it from viable projects that would create jobs and puts it in the operating budget to backfill a deficit. This is unwise in this economy. Rating this budget to fill gaps in the state operating budget is short-sighted. It sets a dangerous financial precedence. Projects that were promised to fee payers and taxpayers who funded these accounts, and those commitments should be kept. This budget also proposes to spend tens of millions of dollars to purchase more state lands. While I appreciate our excellent environmental stewardship and believe in the importance of legacy acquisitions, at a time when we cannot afford to maintain the parks we have, we need a serious review of the land acquisitions that are in this proposal. Let's take care of the parks that we have so that our families can use and enjoy them and prevent the serious economic consequences to our local communities if they're closed. This proposal also includes raising our bonding authority to increase the dollars in the capital budget. You know, that will have the same effect as raising a credit limit. We cannot afford to continue shifting money around in ways that are not sustainable or productive. By taking one-time monies dedicated to certain capital projects and using that money to pay for ongoing state operating costs and programs, we set our state up for the same budget problems we face now, only far more significantly in the next budget. My hope is House and Senate leaders will restructure the capital budget to ensure that the funds are used to create jobs through building schools and upgrading critical local infrastructure and maintaining our parks. I'd like to speak to you for a moment about some of the education reform that we've seen this session. Of a number of bills introduced, House Bill 2261 and its companion Senate Bill 6048 are the ones still moving through the process. This bill that passed the House of Representatives on March 12th was something that had a lot of interest around our district. But I will have to tell you, for concerns that I'll explain in a moment, I was unable to support the passage of this legislation this year. House Bill 2261 is currently sitting in the Senate Ways and Means Committee awaiting further action. You know, it's our constitutional duty in Washington State to fund basic education. While there are elements of 2261 that I was in favor in and support strongly, the fact is we are facing an almost $9 billion budget deficit, and the final cost of this bill is still not fully known. However, some of the estimates have been reported to be in the billions within the next decade. An unfunded education bill, while it may have good intentions, is essentially an empty promise that we may very well be unable to keep. Education reform remains one of my top priorities, but we must make sure that the money is there. It's important to remember that even in these tough economic times, the state of Washington is still projected to bring in more revenue this year than it did last year. Over the past several years, while revenues were increasing at a rate of 6 or 7% per year, state spending was increasing at more than twice that rate. This is an issue of prioritizing our valuable taxpayer dollars. The Bill 1657 and the amendment offered to 2261 would have assured that funding for education was our first priority, but the majority party was unwilling to adopt either of these. I supported them, and I will continue to advocate for policies here in Olympia that direct the legislature to fund education first, as is our constitutional duty, and to make ample provision for education for our children in Washington State, so that they can have a world-class education. In the meantime, I would welcome more of your calls and emails on any issue that you are following this year. I will take every comment into consideration as we work on the remaining bills, the state operating, transportation, and capital budgets. And if you ever have questions about where a bill is in the legislative process, please contact my office. We'll be happy to assist you. As always, I welcome your comments and your thoughts. Hearing from you helps me to represent our district and the citizens of Washington State more effectively. My Olympia office is available to assist constituents with questions and concerns, and we can also help you navigate state agencies. And I always enjoy meeting with families and groups to hear solutions to the issues that impact our quality of life, and I hope that you will invite me to your community meeting. My contact information will be listed at the end of this brief program. It's truly a pleasure to serve you. Thank you and have a wonderful day.